How those balls looking?
You know what season is, right?
I do indeed. It is time.
It is time for smooth sack summer. And how do I keep everything smooth, everything tidy, everything the way it should be?
Well, I don't know how you do, but I'll tell you how I do. Manscaped, buddy. You know how much we love the crop mops. You know how much we love the lawnmower, but they have the Performance Package 4.0 now.
They did a little upgrade to the Weed Whacker. Weed Whacker is, of course, the nose and ear hair trimmer. It is now the 2.0. And also, they are getting into the beard game. They've got their brand new beard trimmer, which is fantastic. So go to manscaped.com. Use the promo code BACONPOD, and that will give you 20% off and free shipping.
That's right. So don't forget to work on those testicles, your chesticles, and your cheeks. Keep them clean and ask yourself, what's your bacon?
We got to talk to Izzy from Conquer Divide,
Yeah,
third member of Conquer Divide.
We got to talk to her for a while, which is great.
Which was great. And Fluffy Cunt.
I get to say cunt now.
Fluffy Cunt.
More often. And I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
I've been given permission.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
So, with that said...
So I'm going to try and use cunt once in every episode from here on out.
That is definitely a... that's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
It's
Just
once.
once.
A goal.
Just once.
It's definitely a goal.
Sometimes in the interview. Sometimes in the outro.
Okay.
Yeah, slip it in. Slip a little cunt in.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you don't usually slip the cunt in. You slip the...
And you did that.
My bad.
You did that.
Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my... Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my...
Welcome, everybody, to Bacon is My Podcast, where we will do discussion and drinks.
Yeah.
He is Jimmy G.
I am
Mike. And we are Bacon is My Podcast.
Yes.
We are floating high because we've done 2 episodes this week. And this is the 3rd, which means it's at least the 3rd drink that we've had tonight.
No. Honestly, it is the 4th drink we've had tonight.
I said at least 2nd or 3rd.
I shouldn't have said no. I should have said it.
Oh, I have a real count. Let me count it for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Way to be a chubby cunt.
I didn't mean to be a chubby cunt.
But what we will do is
I don't
we're
like
gonna
that you just called me chubby.
right now you're trying
That's
to
the
start.
worst. That's the
you're
worst
trying to
part.
start CC.
All right.
Yeah.
FC Wayman. Hashtag FC Wayman.
That's fine. That's better.
CC's got the alliteration, but yeah. Chubby's mean.
Doesn't feel good.
Cunt's great, but chubby's mean.
Doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No,
I
it's
apologize.
fine. It's fine. Well, you know what? It's gonna suck in a few weeks when it actually happens and people start doing CC Wayman, and you're gonna feel like a dick.
They won't, because I'll watch this and I'll be like, you know what? No.
Okay.
FC Wayman.
I doubt they will.
FC
I
Wayman.
doubt they will. So today on Discussion and Drinks, we're actually going to do an old-fashioned cocktail by Bullet Whiskey.
Yeah, Bullet Bourbon. Bourbon. They put out some pre-mixed beverages.
I do get concerned about the pre-mixed stuff.
I do
because
too.
It's usually...
Rarely good.
Never good. Yeah.
Rarely good. So this might suck. Although... It's corked nice.
It's corked. It's got a rubber cork.
Yeah.
I would save that.
Okay. I'll take a corking.
We're not going to get a whole full on like accoutrement when it.
Yeah,
like,
we're not doing the
we're not
orange
gonna do the
peel and the
orange peel
cherry.
and the
I was
cherry
gonna do it. I was gonna do it all. Actually, remember we talked about it, and it was gonna be like, let's do it, and let's do. We talked like quickly about it when I brought it in, I think, and it was like, I'll make a real one, and then we'll also have this.
I gotta finish that.
And so it's like, You just what? You poured more for me, and then
Well, no, you got a fucking iceberg. You gave me 3 pieces of ice.
I do have an iceberg.
Relax, guy.
You told me to stop with the ice.
I did tell you to stop with the ice.
Right. So
fucking chill.
I was gonna make
No buts
a
chill.
real old fashioned,
Oh, right. We were
and
talking
we were
about
gonna
that.
compare it to.
You were gonna even muddle for me.
I was.
Yeah.
I was.
You hate muddling.
I do. So I'm
Do you
glad-
have an apparatus to muddle?
I do not own a muddler.
So what would you just take it and just like?
There's lots of things you can muddle with. You can muddle with a spoon. You can muddle with a fork. You can. There's many ways to muddle.
Oh, okay.
You can muddle with a smaller cup inside a bigger cup.
That's that seems like the ghetto way.
It is. It's definitely the getaway. But
You do what you gotta do. You
I
gotta
pride
adapt.
myself on knowing the getaway of
Grow gills,
doing a lot of
baby.
things.
Grow gills.
Grow gills,
Grow
exactly.
gills. All right, so let's try this. I've never been a real big old-fashioned fan.
Me either. My brother is, and it's his birthday today. So
Today, as we're recording this.
yes, in honor of Josh Garavac,
Whose birthday was this past Sunday?
the 30th.
July
We are having
the 30th. We're having
old fashions because he's an old
Old-fashioned.
fashioned drinker. It's gonna be tough to finish.
Not a fan.
Ah,
Not a fan. Not a fan.
that's so sweet.
Why does your brother like to drink garbage?
This is not what it should taste like.
No?
No,
Good.
this is not.
Anybody going like, this is how something should taste? Like, no. That's fucking awful.
It's all right. All right. I'll drink as much of as I can.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna finish this.
Yeah. No, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, but I'll do.
That is fucking awful.
I'll do what I can.
I'll dump this out.
I'm gonna have some water.
Yeah, we can dump this out too. I have water too. This is not good.
I'm gonna give it another shot. I'm
Do
gonna
I give it the water?
let the ice melt a little bit
Okay.
and give it another shot.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Normally there'd be an orange peel, cherry in there.
Right.
Less simple syrup.
Well, I feel like the simple syrup is like legit making the whiskey taste awful.
Yes. You just put a little. It's so little,
Right.
right? It's just to the sweetness cuts the burn a little bit, right, of your bourbon, and then you also have the maraschino cherry and you have the orange peel, and that gives it a little bit of citrus.
Okay,
a little
so this is made with Kentucky straight bourbon
bit. Right,
whiskey
orange
and
bitters.
orange bitters.
Yeah,
They're missing a lot of things.
they're missing a few things.
Also, it's 37.5% alcohol,
Right.
which is 75 proof.
Yeah.
So, what that means is we made something like stupid strong
Yep.
for no fucking reason.
Does this say you're supposed to mix it with something?
It says best enjoyed straight up or over ice. I couldn't do this. Like, how do you sip from this?
You can just
How do you
pop the
fucking-
cork out and just
No,
guzzle?
no way.
No thanks.
No hard pass.
No thanks.
Bullet whiskey.
Whew.
Ugh. You even spell bullet wrong and awful.
Well, that's how they spell that's their branding.
Oh no, I get it.
Bullet
It's still
bourbon's
awful.
okay. Their rye's not bad. I like their rye whiskey.
Yeah. I like rye beers.
I don't think I've ever had a rye beer.
Oh man, Blue Point for a little while did a Rastafari rye.
Oh, you know what? I did try that.
And
I did try that.
those were very good.
That's
And
right.
I'm not huge on hoppy beers.
Right. Yeah, we talked about that.
And yeah.
So we have every time we do this show, we do it live for our Patreon. So our patrons over there, we have some comments there. We've got G's gonna see us in a week, which is great. We have happy birthday, Josh.
Right, because this Saturday we got a show.
Yeah,
We're gonna play a show.
we're gonna play a show. It's
With-
gonna be fun.
I mean, I feel like Hey, what's up? What's up, Ziggy?
Ziggy's here too. Nice.
What I will say is that we can get. I mean, listen. The Hard Rock Lunchbox gets a little inside baseball. We can get a little inside baseball.
Sure,
right?
Why not? Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm all about inside baseball. We just told the whole Patreon about like our whole process for today's shows and everything we went through, everything you went through.
Yeah.
Like you were going through all kinds of crazy stuff while I was, walking Bruce in the morning.
Well, it's it happens. It happens.
It does happen. So what inside baseball do you want to get about this show?
Well, I want to get inside baseball about this. This show is super important. It's super awesome. It's cool because it's a different venue.
Right.
It is going to be a lot of fun. Right? So that's the outside baseball.
Yeah.
The inside baseball is... We've been talking about this for a really long time, right?
Yeah. It was a goal. This is a goal show.
Goal show,
right?
And
you have those sometimes when you're in a local band.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to find places that will allow you to kind of do what you do.
Especially original bands.
Right. Right. So if you're an original band, your options for places to play are less than if you are a cover band or a tribute band. That's not saying anything is better or worse or anything like that, so don't jump on me, you fluffy cunts. But there's always that kind of like, okay, where can we find a place? When you find a place that has good sound and a good stage and a good room, that's like a holy grail type situation. And there aren't as many of those out there as there could or should be, because people are, for whatever reason, tepid about local original shows.
Well, I do think there is some, not a lot, but there is definitely some merit to that thinking.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
I definitely think that.
Yeah.
What I would like to talk about is how we were talking about... So this show was put together by our buddy DJ.
Yes.
From Revel 9. Painstakingly.
Yes.
Like, the dude worked his ass off to get this show to be a thing.
Right, because this venue doesn't typically do original acts.
So...
On weekends.
So when he presented it to us, he was like, "Hey, I want to do this. What do you think?" We were like, "Fuck yeah, let's make it a thing," stuff like that. And at that point, we did start talking about how many bands should be on the bill and stuff. He was very, very adamant about doing 5 bands. And we were able to find a 4th band pretty easily.
Could you try?
We were about to get 4 bands.
Right.
Or we had 4. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I'm aiming
sorry.
Siri at you so you can hear it.
Yeah. We had 4 bands very easily.
Yes.
There was a 5th band always in question, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he had a really hard... whether or not we said, hey, we should have a 5th band, we shouldn't have a 5th band, is, we don't have to talk about that here.
Right, yeah.
But he did ask quite a few bands. And something that I even talked about it with AJ today. AJ, my drummer from Something Heavy, we're talking a little bit about the show and what's going on and stuff like that. And I... Basically, what happened was toward the end of, before promoting for the show, like, we had flyers, we had things ready to go out.
Right.
Waiting for that 5th band. And he was like, yeah, nobody wants to open. So I said to him, I was like, okay, well, then put me in the opening slot.
Right.
And he was like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, dude, this is an opportunity that we're considering bigger than all of us, right? Put me if the other people are so precious about their fucking egos and how their band is perceived, put me on first. Put that as part of the way you put it out there. Like, hey, Something Heavy is playing first. Go ahead and get there early.
Right.
But we weren't doing that, and we got Dino Skate Park. Dino Skate Park is
awesome,
ready, willing,
and
cool.
they were like, yeah, hell yeah, let's do it.
But man, you know, you so we've got this fucking sick lineup.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Dino Skate Park,
Pathmaker, yeah, whatever. My band. Revel 9 and you guys.
Yeah.
And
Craving Strange.
It's gonna be fucking awesome, but and you know, the fact that it is awesome makes me feel like weird even saying this, but like, you know what? He asked a number of bands, and they wouldn't take the show because they didn't want to fucking open.
Well, okay, so I'm gonna devil's advocate right now.
I would like you to devil's advocate
so,
for that.
One, I don't know for sure that all the bands that he asked that turned down the show turned it down because they were going to be opening. We don't know that. We know that bands turned down the show. I know at least a couple bands turned down the show because they had shows right around that show.
That was not the narrative I got.
Okay, but I'm just telling you.
That's why I.
Right.
That's why the reason why I. Based on the information I got.
Right. Gotcha.
That's why I said, well, fuck it. I'll open.
Right. So I will say if 4 bands turned down the show, at least 2 of them turned down the show. One of them because they had another show too close to it, and then another one that I didn't understand why they turned it down. But they turned it down because they were like, oh, we have a bunch of shows up until a month before, and then we're taking a month off. Right? So they're taking a break. So those 2 reasons are for 2 of the bands.
Okay.
If there were another 2 bands, then maybe they both said, you know, we don't want to open.
There were a few bands.
Right.
I don't know if it was 2. I don't know if it was 3. But
so why do you think a band would have an issue with opening a show? What reasons? Like, if you could give, what would be your 3 reasons that are reasons that a band could give that they don't necessarily want to open a show?
One is, I mean, well, listen, all of us who have done what we've done, regardless of it's in the band that we're doing, band that we've done, whatever, is perception.
Okay. Perception of being
that's number 1.
The opener.
Yeah.
Right? So their perception is that they're the lowest on the totem pole of the night.
Right.
Okay. Which feeds into the idea that whoever's on last is the most important, which does not work in a local show.
Correct.
Right? If you're if you're at the Garden, then yes, whoever's on last is the most important. But a local show is not that.
Like, when it comes to a local show, the local show is as successful as the parts that are brought into that local show.
Yes, every single band is an equal part of what makes that show good.
And
now we're getting something from our patrons over at Patreon right now. One says one had someone out of the country that week going to Europe.
Okay.
So there's another possible reason that they didn't do the show.
That's cool.
So say that
is cool.
Say
you know
that's
what?
band 5.
I get that. I get that. I don't know which band that is.
Nor do I. Yeah.
Right? But
Nor do I care.
let's just say, Jimmy, one of your members was out of the country that week, but this is a new venue that we can. This is how we're looking at this, right?
Right.
Regardless of the discussions that you and I have had.
Sure. Yeah.
This is a brand new venue, brand new opportunity. It's a possibility that they'll start doing original music. We have to. This is how the show was presented to us, right?
Yeah.
So this is a possible opportunity to kick a door open, right?
Yep.
Not like, hey, would you play AMH with us?
Sure.
Hey, would you play Beeries with us?
Right.
This is, hey, or oh man, Shakers with us. This is a, hey, this venue who only does cover bands ever is giving us an opportunity to show them why we should bring local original bands onto the show.
Right.
Right? Or onto this stage. And for us to do this. Right? If one of your band members was going to Europe, same with me. If the one other band member that I have was going to Europe and I was given the opportunity to do the show, what would you do?
I'd get somebody else, but that's assuming that the member going to Europe's not you.
Exactly. Well, that yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. That's,
like if the member going to
I
Europe
don't know
was me,
what member
couldn't do the show.
Right.
Right.
I don't know what member it was or who it was or anything like that. But I do find it hard to believe that 4 or 5, 6 bands, however many he asked,
right.
was like, yeah, we're going to Europe. One person's going to Europe.
Right. Well, yeah, clearly it wasn't all that. Now, I will say that you have to take into consideration that whether or not a certain venue becomes open to original acts and creates that opportunity, whether or not that's important to you is also not a guarantee. If you're in a local original band and you're playing gigs and you're pretty busy and you're not finding issues with that, then it's just another show.
Yeah.
So if it's just another show and you're like, I don't know, like the other reason I would say to people not wanting to open, let's say you have a late crowd. Your fans come out late. I've been in that situation. It's hard for my band to draw people at 7 p.m. Very hard. Will I take a show there? Sure, because I'll want to play in front of new people.
You've done it.
Yeah.
You did it recently.
But if I'm presented a show where it's like we're trying to prove to the venue that we can draw and we can make it successful, can you open? I would have to be like, I don't know if I can draw and make it successful at 7 p.m. I'm not going to give you the best draw at that time. If you put me on later, I can get more people there and therefore create a situation where it seems like a more successful show. If it's a difference between drawing 15 people and 50 people, that's a big difference. So that's also a thing that I will say that I can say legit that that I would have to think about if I was offered the show. Would I want to be on that show? Yes. Do I think I'd be able to help that show in the best way possible going on first? No. I'll tell you right now, my band asked DJ to put us on last at this show because I think that's where we'll be the most helpful.
Right.
And do I want to go on last? No, I don't. I don't want to go on last.
Well, I think that's a lot of the perspective of what is a local show, and
Right.
and what do people think they're playing.
Right.
You believe that I put that up there on purpose because I do want to.
Bill
talk
would
about
rather play. Okay. Yeah. We'll talk about that.
Yeah,
in a
we'll
second.
talk about that in a second.
Okay.
But I wanted bookmark that.
Good. Okay.
So for me, I get it. I get and you can discount me as much as you want.
I'm not.
But
Not at all.
No, but you guys have been around for a while. You guys are an established act here.
Sure.
Right? So, that being said, you've done things that other bands prior to you or bands that were asked, you've done things that they have not accomplished, right?
Okay.
You need to look at things if you're a new, young, up-and-coming band that's looking to, quote-unquote, make it and do things. If you're not going out of New York or Long Island to do things, then these are the shows that you need to be playing.
Right. Jump on shows with established acts.
So you're an established act.
Mm-hmm.
I know why you asked to close. That kind of stuff. Cool. That's good. That's fine. That's I get it.
Right.
I get it. When it comes to the late thing, and I'm not gonna be I'm not trying to be a dick or a suck up or whatever it is it's all about, but your band has a tendency to do things that happen pretty well off here when it comes to that. When you're when you're tasked with, hey, I'm doing this, we're headlining, we're gonna do this.
Right.
You do well. Right?
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You've got a pretty good track record, right?
We've got a decent track record with that. Yeah. Sure.
My band, the first show we did, we asked everybody to do it, and we said, you know what, we're gonna fucking close because we asked everybody to do it. And that's it. And you know what? It ended up going really well for a first show. And second show, same thing. You know, so. But it's a local show, right? It's a local show where it's all right, well, I was tasked to do something. This was my objective. I made good. I'm ready to move on, right?
Right. Okay.
So these other bands that were asked to do something, they were asked to do something with not nobodies, not people that they weren't aware of. Because let's be honest, DJs doesn't ask people, fucking random people, I don't know you from a hole in the wall.
Right, right.
Hey, I didn't know Stud Count from a hole in the wall.
Right.
But I brought them here, and we played a show with them.
Sure.
And then the opening act, fucking had to cancel because of COVID, and we brought somebody else in. And it ended up being a disaster. Okay, but this is already 4 established acts. Pathmaker, I'm gonna throw this out there. Pathmaker is probably now the hardest working band in the island.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Now, I'd play before them.
Me too.
I probably deserve to play before them.
I don't know. That's subjective. I don't know what that
means.
It's
subjective, but
I don't know what that means. Yeah.
But I will go out there and say I probably deserve to play before them, based on who's active, who's doing things, who's pushing things hard,
sure.
Whatever.
If that's the case, then we all do. Yeah.
Right. So this is the
and they're excellent. So
right, and I wouldn't. I don't want to fucking follow them. I'm gonna have to fucking follow them. that sucks.
I want to follow them.
What?
I love it. I want to follow them.
Yeah.
I love that.
I get to start rehearsing this week.
Right. I had to follow you last time. It sucked. But that also made it
at
awesome.
the same time, it's cool. Like, you get a bunch of bands that are great, and they're trying to push, and they're trying to do this, trying to do that. And I feel like a lot of bands go, I don't want to open. And it's like, okay, well, you haven't done what any of the other bands have done on this bill, right? Other situations aside, right?
Sure.
Like, extenuating circumstances, I'll say.
Right.
Aside. There were several, there weren't just 2 other bands. There were several other bands asked to do it. And they didn't want to do it because they didn't want to open.
All right.
And that is the reason why they said, like DJ said, they don't want to open. And I said,
you know what, you gotta.
I'll fucking open.
Yeah.
I'll open. Cool. I have to be tasked now with the challenge of, cool, I gotta open this up. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, now the band that was too precious to take the opening slot, follow that. All right. Time out. We've got all these awesome sponsors here.
Right.
Where can they find all the information out for that?
Oh, if only there was a place. If there was only
a portal.
A hub.
A central hub to do so.
A central location.
Wait. I think there is.
Do we have the technology?
Yes. Baconismypodcast.com is where you can find the best deals on all of our awesome sponsors, including Drink Wild Bills, Pod Decks, Manscaped, all of them. Go over there, find their promo codes. You always get the best deals. But what else can you get over there?
Well, not only can you get the best deals, and we'll always keep those up to date, you can also help out the show by grabbing some t-shirts, some swag. Jump over to the Bacon is My Fashion section. Yeah, there's a whole section. It's just there for you. It's there for you. You can check it out. We have nice t-shirts. They don't chafe. They're nice to the nips. You know I like that.
You know Jimmy's all about his nice to the nips.
I'm like the
shirts.
Drax of this show. You know? I got sensitive nipples, man. I got sensitive nipples. If you have sensitive nipples, check that out. And you know what? How about your ear holes? You want to take care of those ear holes? Because you can find links to all of our episodes. How about your eyeballs? You want those eyeballs? You can find links to our YouTube, Strangerhood TV. You can check out everything right from baconismypodcast.com. It's easy. It's super simple. It's right there. What's your bacon?
I will say that when you go to this site, that will be your new bacon.
That will be your new bacon. Check it out. Right.
And then next time they'll go, oh, well, okay, maybe we do need to take an opening slot or whatever. Like, it doesn't, like, for me, it doesn't matter. Like,
I wonder how many
show,
bands.
it doesn't fucking matter.
I wonder how many bands even think that way, though. I wonder how many bands, because.
No, I've been in bands. I've been in bands where the people within the band are like, I don't want to take an opening slot.
Well, no, that's not what I mean. I wonder how many bands actually think of who they're following or what they're playing before as a matter of why they open or not. They just don't want to open because they want to be there when the most possible people are there.
Right.
So they want to find who's the most, the highest drawing band on the bill. I want to go before them. And that's the beginning of my negotiation.
Right.
Right? And I do that. I do that 100%.
I think we all do that.
And we all
when
need
it comes to a national act. Yeah.
We all should. But even with a local act, if I'm playing with a local act, a lot of times I'll have to have that conversation of like, sometimes a band will want to put us on a bill with them, and they'll want to put us on last. And I'll be like, yo, this is your show, right? So let me go before you. You know, why are you putting us on last?
No.
But they're wanting to put us on last because of a reputation of drawing people, right?
Well, that's an issue right there. That is the type of band that's going to turn down an opening slot.
But I think you're going to find that more than you're going to find other things. I think that's the norm. And I think it's the norm because I think that other bands don't necessarily look at it as a community. And I think, honestly, that's probably to their benefit. Because, yeah, we've created a cool little chunk of island for us, the sandbox shows, right? And we play shows together, and we realize that, like, by playing shows together, we draw more people to those shows, and so we have more successful shows overall. But those shows aren't bringing us new people, and more often than not, we're putting a band on that show to expose them to our audience, right? But in the reality of booking shows and playing shows, you always have to be thinking of trying to get yourself a new audience. And I think
agree.
That's a lot of what's going on.
Well, no.
We happen to be
this is the
friends, and we all happen to be thinking the same thing.
This is the thing, though. And man, maybe I'm not right. Maybe I'm fucking completely wrong, completely off base.
I don't think that.
But, no, but with the next thing I said.
Right, okay.
All right. Yeah, let me finish.
Maybe you'll be wrong. Okay.
But, like, if you're looking to get to be the biggest fucking band in a 50-mile radius without doing other shit outside this 50-mile radius,
Right.
which is not actually 50 miles, it's actually 50 miles one way, 50 miles another way, and like 10 or 15 up, 10 or 15 down.
Right.
Then you need to get over yourself, because this world is way bigger than here, right?
Yeah.
If I was looking to, and you know what, I like, there is a part of me that does want to continue to expand the Something Heavy stuff. That's why the Something Heavy stuff was so listened to in the beginning, because I pushed to get out to other states. Then COVID happened, and then it just died out, you know? We had stuff booked in Massachusetts, we had stuff booked in Philly, we had stuff booked in Jersey, we had stuff booked in upstate New York. That's what your mentality has to be. It's not just like home base.
Sure.
Not now. At one point, it was like, oh, cool. This band, they can fill out 1,000 cap. Cool, we're gonna sign them. Now, it's like, oh, this band has several million streams. That's cool.
Right.
Maybe we should probably think about picking them up. So you're not going to get several million streams from here if you're playing new music, right? We've talked about Long Island. We've talked about there is a select group of people that actually do listen to new stuff. Most people are nostalgic. Most people are older. Most people are not going out to live shows here, right? Do you need to keep a solid base of local hometown shit? Like local hometown stuff, like things that we can do? Yeah, you absolutely do. If you can't if you can't fill out a Beeries the way we did the other night, like a couple last month,
Right.
then no, then don't bother. But if you do, okay, cool. Like we can go and do this. We should go and do other things too. You need to test the waters elsewhere. You need to figure out things elsewhere.
Okay, can I devil's advocate right now?
Wait.
Okay, you're going for a long time now. I'm telling you right now.
No, I know. But at the same time, would you not want to better the atmosphere in your hometown? Regardless of if you're first, second, third, fourth, or fifth, would you not want to go, hey, and this is how it was presented to them.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we have an opportunity to open doors up to other new bands, local bands, bands that are doing what we do at the very beginning levels. If you're not willing or able or like, if you're not willing, able, or thinking that way, living like leaving this better than you left it, then fuck you. You're a shitty person.
Okay. I think we're assuming a lot of things here.
Okay.
Okay? I think, one, we're assuming that to them, they're at some beginning level, which already, as we're talking, puts us above for some reason. Right? Now, they could be playing shows, and they could be playing middle or last or wherever they are on all the shows that they're doing, and they could be the biggest drawing band of the night on everything that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And they could also have a business plan where they've played a bunch of opening shows and they said, when we play opening shows, no one's there and we can't pick up new people. So no more opening spots. And that could just be their line in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then they get something from Revel 9, Craving Strange, and Something Heavy. Who the hell are any of you? Right? Who the hell are any of us? What? Craving Strange? We sold out the Revolution when we put out a record 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now what are we doing? Well, we played Berries together, and it was a disaster. And it didn't sell out. We played Berries with Revel last month, and we had a great thing because it was a sandbox show.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But that's one show. So who the hell are we?
But the other shows
to be judging anyone on any decision and offering anything. We're coming at it from this. We can't come at it with this perspective that we know more or we're above or you should think like us.
No, but I do think that when it comes to a local show, you gotta like anytime I take a show or anytime I've ever taken a show, no, that's a lie. Most recently.
Okay.
Like, I'll take a show based on, okay, like, can I connect with the music that's also playing? Is there somebody else that's going to want to go and listen to these bands?
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. Like, I can't tell you how many awful shows that I've played in my beginnings where it was just like, wow, this is unfucking bearable.
Sure.
Like,
how did you pick those shows at the beginning?
right, at the very beginning, it was just like, okay, here's the show.
How did you pick them even 2 years in?
Oh, well,
3 years
yeah,
in.
but we're talking apples and pomegranates here.
No, we're not, because
Yes, we are.
We don't know if these bands have been together.
We are not in a world where you can go and click on your fucking phone and go, oh, wow, this band seems to be doing well. Oh, wow, this band seems to... No. Even as simple as, oh, wow, I can listen to that band.
Okay. What does that have to do with picking a local show?
The same... It has a lot to do with it.
You could do that on MySpace back then. You could do that on Facebook back then.
Couldn't really do that.
It's
on
not
MySpace.
as easy as Spotify.
You couldn't, because there were some MySpace bands back then doing it. Who were those bands? Fall Out Boy.
Local bands.
Like,
we were doing it.
Yeah, well, you had a budget to
No,
do
we
that.
didn't. We just did it.
Right. Well, there's not a lot of bands that were able to do that then. Is what I'm saying. Like, yeah, we got something done. And quite honestly, based on the recordings when I listen back, It's a fucking wonder we did.
Sure, that's fair, but I don't understand how that has anything to do with whether someone picks a show or not based on their positioning on that show. Like, when you're offered a spot on a show, whether that be the opening, the middle, or the end, you look at the bands on that show and you go, yeah, I'd open for that, or no, I wouldn't open for that.
I am telling you this because I was told from this particular instance.
Okay.
Not forever. Not always.
Yeah.
Having a really hard time finding a band that'll open this show.
Right.
That's what I was presented with.
And that's
sure. And that is what got me on this topic. And to me, that's why I turned around and said, put me on first. I'll play first. Fuck it.
Right.
Make that a sell. Something heavy is playing first. Play that. Put that on the flyer. Like, whatever. Our people are gonna come. They're gonna come to this, and they're gonna come early. They're gonna stay late.
Sure.
Right? So why would that be a problem? First off, like putting me first.
Yeah.
But also, like, again, for me, I'm in this show and I know that I have this booking and stuff like that. It's like, okay, well, we can't find an opener. Oh, all right. Well, I'll fucking open. Find a band that's willing to open. All right, willing to play after us. That's fine. That's cool.
Okay.
Like, because this is bigger than me. Like, we're trying to do something. We're trying to do something better. We're trying to make this. And the reason why the other bands weren't asked again is because they weren't willing to open.
Right. I just don't see what the problem is. Like, if you're not willing to open, okay.
Well, this is I don't see what the problem is either. Which is why I said I'll fucking open.
I don't have a problem with the bands that said no.
Well, there were several bands. There were more than just the two,
Sure.
Going.
There could be 10. What does that matter?
They go, I don't want to open.
Yeah, so what?
So then I'll open. That's
right.
fine.
I'm not understanding what are we mad at here?
Well, my thing is like, what, like, if are you not willing to, like, take the challenge, or are you not willing to, like, what makes you not want to open? What makes you better than that makes you, or too, like, specific, like, what makes you too, why are you so precious about your ego?
I see in there, you're putting that on people. You don't know the reasons that anybody's choosing not to open. I can think of a million reasons why not to open this show. I could think a bunch. I could say 5 bands is too many. I don't want to open at 5 bands. I'm going to be on at 7. What is that, happy hour? I don't know. Or I can be like, I listen to the bands. They're all older. They're not my style. My fans aren't going to be into it. And I'm not going to gain, or their fans aren't going to be into me. So I'm not going to be into it there, right? So that's another reason not to open. I think it's a mistake to immediately go to your, their ego, or they're precious, or they think they're better, right? I think that's a mistake, because that immediately puts something on somebody for you to be mad at, right? Because then you're in defense mode. You're like, why are you so much better than the rest of us, right? When that could not be it at all. There's so many reasons not to do a show that have nothing to do with, I think I'm too good to open. I've turned down plenty of shows with opening spots, not because I thought I was too good to open, but because they didn't make sense for what I was trying to get out of the show. You know, like, I'm not going to get what I'm going to need out of this show. Now, sure, you can look at that and you can go, okay, you're not looking at it as a community building thing where we're trying to build up everybody, but not everybody has to do that. Not everybody's into that. And I'll be honest with you, the bands that have been successful out of here are the bands that none of us have played with and none of us have seen because they don't bother themselves with these kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
They go do things elsewhere, right? And so they might get an opportunity for a local show, and they might go, "What's the time that we're on?" Yeah, I don't want to do that.
There was a band.
They could be like, "I get off work at 6. I can't be there to open by then."
Right. No, I
right?
That I get. That's extenuating circumstances.
Right, but you don't know whether those circumstances are there or not, but you're assigning ego.
I'm not. Okay. I get that from certain aspects. I absolutely do.
You know, we don't need all the information.
I don't.
We just need to know, no, you're not going to open? All right, fuck it.
Well,
move on.
No, I do think that, and I appreciate your standpoint on benefit of the doubt and all that stuff.
Ziggy says maybe it's because we're older that we'd rather be early.
That could be.
Not a wrong thing either. Or maybe you have a fan base that maybe, like, okay, so just as much as I have a fan base that tends to skew a little bit later, that's starting to dwindle. And they're starting. We just played a show at 8, and they were like, "I'm so glad that you guys played at 8. Yeah. You guys are done, and it's still sort of light out." Like, I heard that. And I've also had people be like, "When are you going to play earlier?" Right? I've heard that before. If you're a younger band, if you're in your early 20s and your people come out late, you could literally be like, "What time is opening?" Opening is at 8 p.m. Yo, none of my people are going to be there. We can't take that show.
Okay. All right. Well, that being said.
Sick as Monday couldn't do an 8 o'clock p.m. show.
If you're getting people going, hey, I'd rather come earlier.
Right.
What's stopping us from going, all right, well then, you want to close?
Sure. But we didn't do that.
You know what? You're right. We didn't do that, and that
right.
is a thing that I did not consider when I brought it up earlier,
yeah.
But like, I was given information of these bands don't want to open.
Okay. But then you filled in more information.
I got it from these bands don't want to open.
Right. But then you filled in your reasons why.
But I also said, well then, ask them if they'll play elsewhere.
Right.
I'll open.
And if they still said no, that means they just didn't want to be on the show.
Right.
And that's okay too.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we're not the right fit for them. Maybe we're all too old. Maybe we're the wrong crowd. Maybe Warehouse is the wrong crowd. Maybe they looked at that and they're like, none of our people are going to go there. Drinks are too expensive. It's too expensive to go there. You know, like there could be a million reasons, right? And I think part of it.
You know what, man? None of our people will go there. Drinks are too expensive.
Well, I think it's lame.
Go to Madison Square Garden then. Cool. Go to Irving Plaza.
Yeah, but
go to fucking Irving Plaza.
So you're comparing a local show at Warehouse.
Well, no,
to Irving Plaza and Madison Square Garden.
No. What I'm saying is, if you're gonna say my core group of people can't go out to Irving Plaza for opening because the drinks are too expensive, like, are you, yeah, they're $14 each.
Yeah. Okay.
Then like, what are you gonna do when you get out there into the big open fucking world?
They're gonna have other fans, right? If they're beginning, they're bringing their friends, and their friends are like, "I ain't paying $15 to come see you and $15 a drink."
So then, what's the Where do you grow?
And here I'm assuming and putting words in their mouth. No one said any of this.
Right, but at the same time, I'm saying, okay, well then where do you grow?
Who knows?
Oh well, we can't go anywhere that our fans can't pay more than $6 a drink.
Okay. So you get in a van and you go across country and you play bars where it's $6 a drink. And
There's no bars there. $6 a drink.
Sure
buddy.
there are. Sure there are.
There's not.
Sure there are, man. Sure there are. But still, again, I'm inventing a reason there that I didn't hear, and we're reacting to a fake invented storyline that I just created. Right? And you know, and I think that's what happens a lot is we assign reason to things when someone doesn't give us one. It could literally just be that like it's not the right show for us, and they don't want to tell DJ like I don't think it's going to do anything for us to play with you guys. Mm-hmm. So instead they say it's too early for us. And then when it's presented to them, well, you could play later. They go, nah, I think we're gonna have to pass on this one.
I don't think they were
right. Like
given that opportunity.
There's a million reasons to turn down a show. There's a million reasons that you can or can't do something. I think that I think that to create a scenario that feeds into outrage is counterproductive, right? Because then we're creating a barrier against a band that we didn't even like. So now the next time something comes up and it's one of the bands that said no, we've assigned some reason that they said no that might not even be true, and we're like, yeah, fuck those guys, they said no to a show.
Yeah, you know what?
Blackball them.
I don't think things that way. I don't think.
Right. I'm just saying that that's where things can go with things like that.
But again, like I said, I'm finding it to be a hard time to find bands to open. I'll open.
Right.
Who the fuck do I matter?
Well,
right?
Every band on the show matters.
But no, I get it.
But you keep saying things.
But what I'm saying is like, what do I matter more than anybody else on this?
Sure. Okay. Any one of us can open. Yeah.
So like, if it has to do with perception, to how many people can fit in that room? 200, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Like, yeah, I'll fucking open.
So
present that.
Where I think,
but I do think that option wasn't put out there.
Yeah, I think where we can completely agree is that it doesn't make sense to turn down something just because you think that you're better than being an opening band.
Yeah,
if that's the case, then I think that's silly.
And
I think that you have a hard time with that because you've been in a situation where that was the case.
Yes, and I hey man, maybe this is some PTSD coming out.
Well, and that's I honestly like I didn't want to like just point right to that, but I think
this is definitely like some PTSD coming out where I'm just like, it doesn't fucking matter,
right?
Like where the fuck are we? Where the fuck is anybody else? Like it doesn't matter,
right?
What matters is you're getting out there and doing stuff, and I don't know, like maybe he didn't. Maybe DJ did not angle it in that way where it was like, hey man, like you could be making a change here. Because he certainly fucking did to us, right?
Well, maybe he did, but maybe that just didn't really resonate.
Right.
Because again, if you're consistently playing shows
Like you don't care.
At all these venues, you're like,
oh, well,
making a change for what? I'm playing all the time.
yeah.
I've got lots of places to play, right?
Well,
We're assigning a level of value to the place, right? Because we lost a place that was great to play with great sound and a great stage and we've had all that and we experienced that, and so therefore we've all also turned down shows at places that didn't have those things. Sure. So if you have that mindset, right? If we're in that mindset of we're too precious to play these places that don't have the sound we like and don't have the space we like and don't have the thing we like, right? Not saying we do, but saying if we have that, so we're like, we need another place that has this kind of sound, this kind of stage, this kind of place. It's going to be great for everybody. Well, if you're a band that doesn't care about those things and you're playing shows consistently and you're like, okay, that place is bigger and has a bigger stage, but I'm going to make less money going there. I'm going to play in front of less people going there. None of the people that I hang out with go there because that place isn't known to have original bands.
Right.
So I'm going to bring all my people for one night, and then maybe it becomes a place we can play and maybe it doesn't, but even if it does, my split's worse. Where I can continue to play this place where I bring all my friends and we play with a bunch of bands that bring all their friends, and we're consistently in front of packed rooms that are energetic and fun, and we consistently get a good split from the door. Why do I care? Like, I get it that you guys think this is important. I'm not in the situation you're in.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? We got a little hint for you here. A little secret. How do you help the show? We've been asked. Here's a way to help the show. Check us out over at patreon.com/baconismypod. You can get lots of extra stuff.
Yeah, like additional shows, ad-free episodes, early episodes. Shoot. Every Sunday, we record our discussions and drinks live with our patrons.
Yeah, so you can have a drink with us while we do it. You can watch us cook things. You can watch us eat things. You can just support the show. And that helps us keep putting these out. It helps us just
keep the show free.
So thank you guys so much for supporting all of you over on Patreon already. Our patrons, you guys are our lifeblood. Thank you guys so much. And if you want to help out the show and you want to jump on, you want to be part of that BIMP squad, jump over to patreon.com/baconismypod.
Okay, well, so So like, I get your side. I get your side of the story, and I do appreciate that side of the story. Mm-hmm. And I will say, I'll say it on record here. These conversations happened for me, in the past, like,
right,
where people have gone in bands and like, oh, we're better than that, and I'm like, wait, what? We're
right.
What?
Right.
Like, excuse me?
Right.
Like, we're no better than fucking anybody. You know why? Because we're not fucking doing anything else.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's why.
And it's what I've experienced, and it's what I've tried to make something heavy not. It's, hey man, I'm going to throw this out there. That's why I don't have fucking permanent members. Well, because I don't want to deal with that type of ego.
Here's what I think.
But I do want to ask you.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you.
Sure.
Do you think these, 2, 5, 10, 1 band?
Uh-huh.
Do you think that's not a conversation being had?
Do I think what's not a conversation being had?
The whole ego stuff.
It's most definitely being had by at least one, for sure.
I think so too.
For sure it is.
At least.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I think that because you had a situation where that was brought up in your band, and was a situation you had to deal with in your band, it seems like a more likely situation to you because you've seen it firsthand and been there.
No,
I have never turned down, and I've never turned down a show, or never had that conversation of why to turn down a show. Right? There's never been a time where I've had a band member go, we're better than opening for this show. There have been plenty of other reasons
Sure.
that we've talked about, and they've been every reason that I brought up, and that's probably why my brain goes to, oh, well, there's all these reasons to turn down a show, and yours goes to, here's a possible thing that happened.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. And again, like, you know, something that we talk about a lot is like not getting too far inside baseball and stuff like that. But quite frankly,
Who knows if anyone gives a shit about this?
yeah, nobody gives a shit about
Right.
this. But those conversations do happen in bands. You know why I know this? Because I have, and I'm not going to speak for you, but you certainly fucking have had those conversations with those bands and other bands.
I've had conversations with other bands like that, sure.
There was at least one band that was asked that had that conversation.
Yeah.
And all like, hey man, like we talk to other bands. We and they confide in us and we confide in them, and it's been a long time since they've confided in me, and same I'm sure with you, but like we've had those discussions with bands. And that is a major thing that does come up.
Not for me.
And well,
I've had that conversation very few times.
I can tell you, and maybe it's because I just deal with assholes, but it comes up a lot.
Maybe, I don't know.
And I don't know. Maybe I attract assholes. Maybe that's just me.
I don't know.
But I can tell you from past experience that is what comes up a lot of the time.
Okay.
Whether it's a show that DJ's doing, or other promoters in the past have done, or are doing, or were doing, or whatever. And card position happens to be a hotbed for a lot of people.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to like cause a drama or
well, no, if
feed
you've
into
had
drama
more
or anything
experience
like
with that.
But I'm just saying that there are a lot of fucking bands, like a lot of bands, that have had that issue in the past for shows that we've booked and I've booked and that I've been told about this particular situation is the case. Like, especially for one in particular.
I've rarely had that issue
There
when
is
booking a
one
show.
in particular where I'm just like, get over your fucking self. Like, literally get over yourself.
The conversation I've had more often than not has not been opening spot. It's been direct support.
Or not direct support.
Right. That's been the argument that I've encountered more than anything else.
Yeah, that's a huge thing.
But and direct support for everybody, that just means that whoever the main band or the quote headline band or whatever is for the night, whoever's show it is, right? Direct support is you're the band right before their band. We try all the time. If we're going to be on with the National, we aim for direct support. And we also, like when we go to a booking agent, say it's a 5-band bill, and we're trying to get on it, we will say we either want to be direct support or we want to be the band before direct support.
Right.
Those are the two spots that we say, and we've said no to shows where we weren't those two things.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But those have always been ticket sales, national shows.
Exactly.
But I understand the thought process.
At the same time, that's the whole thing. Because we've had those conversations too.
Yeah.
And it's like, you need to be opening for this band that's going to charge $35 for tickets.
Right. If I'm going to sell a bunch of tickets, I'm not going on first.
Right. That is exactly it. Like
Right?
there's a difference.
But
Nobody at this point.
to everybody listening right now, there's no difference until we explain it.
Right.
Yeah, explain that difference.
There's no difference till we explain it. So the difference is this. There's a tour package, and it is X band who is on the radio or has been on the radio or was on the radio, and probably since we're in Long Island, I say in Long Island because it pisses people off, by the way.
versus on.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Right. But we're in Long Island, and our rock radio station plays stuff 10, 12, 13 years old, and that is new rock to them, right?
Okay.
So, yeah, those bands, and that this has been this way for 15, 16
Right.
years.
Right.
So when I'm going to give a great example, Seven Dust.
Mm-hmm.
Seven Dust was coming to the island.
I wish I remembered that show.
That was a fun show. Yeah.
I saw photos of myself. I also
In Seven Dust's bus.
I was not in those photos.
Yeah.
There was another human embodying my body.
No, there was a body there, but there was not a human.
Yeah.
There was not a human consciousness.
It was an animal.
Yeah.
It was a wild animal.
But that show in particular, we were asked to do it, and it's like, okay, cool. What are tickets? 35. Okay, cool. Are you asking us to sell any? Yes. You need to sell 50.
Okay. Where
Okay.
are we?
Okay. When? When are we playing?
Right.
You're opening. Nope.
Right. Right.
Nope.
Because if we sell $50 worth of tickets and you are $35 worth of tickets.
Right.
And you want us to sell 50 of them. Right? So we've got there 15
I'll help you out.
times 35 is
35 times 50 is $1,750.
and $1,750. So we're selling all this money, or we're selling all these tickets, and we're bringing in this much money to you, and the only thing we're going to get out of
bands
it,
away.
the only thing we're going to get out of it by going first is we're generally going to be in front of our own people and maybe some of the people of the band that's going on second if they sold all their tickets.
And maybe some super hardcore Seven Dust fans.
And we are asking our fans and followers to spend that kind of money to come see us. And the return on that kind of a show isn't going to be as good for us. And if we don't sell those 50 tickets, then we owe that money. Mm-hmm. And we have to pay that money. And I have no problem if I'm going to pay $1,700 to play with a band, and that's how I look at every ticket sales show. I look at it as if, okay, we don't sell any tickets. Would I pay the amount of money for the tickets to play on this show in the position they're giving me? Mm-hmm. Would I pay $1,700 to play right before Seven Dust in front of a packed house? I might. It depends on the venue, depends on the time.
Just before Seven Dust?
Right.
In front of a packed crowd?
Now.
Well worth the $1,700.
Will I pay that to play first in front of
4 other bands?
Maybe nobody
and then
there?
Seven Dust?
Probably not.
No.
It's not worth that money to me that I'm responsible for.
But
every time a band has tickets, they've bought those tickets, right? You guys, when you buy a ticket from a band to go to a show, what you're doing is you're reimbursing the band for the money that they laid out to go to the show, and you're helping them pay for their spot. Really. Now,
this is 99.5%
of ticket sales shows. Yes.
Right.
Now, if there's not a ticket sales show like we're having at the warehouse, that just means that
There's
all
a
the
split.
bands are sharing in the money. Whether you're first or whether you're last, everybody's getting the same split. At least
Right.
at our shows,
Right.
because we don't do the whole like who brought more thing. We do what's the total amount that came
Because
in.
Craving Strange obviously knows that something heavy brought more.
Exactly. So what we do is we try and take some of that sweet something heavy money
Right.
And we try and make
disperse it.
sure. Yeah, we disperse it
disperse it.
evenly because everybody did the same work that day. Right? Somebody brought more people, sure, but everybody did the same job. And that's the deal. Now,
And that
we will
somebody-
look at
That somebody
who brought who.
is sometimes Craving Strange.
well, and we will look at who brought who, and if your band brought nobody, if your band has 4 people and you brought 4 people because everybody brought their girlfriend or their boyfriend, then you're probably
gonna be
not going to
dumped.
get asked on the next show. Right?
Right.
That's going to be it. It's so I advise bands
Yeah.
if you're being
Don't be
asked to
shitty.
do a show and you don't think you're going to be able to do that, don't take the show. So that also, like, I'm like, if you go, I'm not bringing people.
That whole other long-winded explanation
Right.
it does come back to the warehouse show. Okay, so if you don't think you're gonna bring anybody to this show, cool. Then I guess you got to turn it down.
Right. Turn it down.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I was painted in a little bit of a negative Nancy light when it comes to this.
I didn't mean to
type
paint
of
you in a light.
thing.
I hope I didn't paint you in a
I
light.
hope so too. But I will say, like,
But you did
hearing
assign
that-
some blame. You were coming at it with assigning a little bit of reason.
I was, and that is because of what I've dealt with in the past and what I've spoken to bands about in the past. Like,
Which I get it, man.
hey man, I'm going to tell you, there was one band that was asked that I do have an inside track on that did say, I'm not fucking opening this.
Right.
And they were not given the opportunity to not open it.
Hey, and you know what?
And you know what?
That's fair too, man.
It's fine. It's I get
That's
it.
not an insult to you.
It's not.
Or
No,
me,
it's not.
or
I
to
don't
any
take
of
it.
us, right?
I don't take it as an insult to me. I don't take it as an insult to you or DJ. What I do think is that there are more people that need to get the fuck over themselves.
Sure.
Right? Like, here we are. You and I, we're doing shit. Right? If I asked you to open a show where it was just you and I, what would you say?
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And
You mean
vice
I'm there.
versa. Right.
But we're also friends.
But
and
no,
we're a
no,
team.
but at the same time, it's like you get me, I get
Right,
you.
right.
We get this other person that is DJ who is like, you know.
To that extent, we're asking people that don't get us.
No, we're not. Not all of them.
They don't get us. Who gets us?
Well, who truly gets us? You're
Very,
right.
very few.
You're very right.
Very few.
You're very, very, very right. And you know what though?
And
do
are we
think-
wrong? Maybe.
You know what?
Do we need to get over ourselves?
Hey, listen.
Maybe.
Maybe
we're the ones that need to
I
get over ourselves.
kind of think of it as this, and this is like pre-COVID. This is pre-COVID shit, right? And this was very much the ingredients, the brand, the what happened to make things happen, right?
Right?
And it's like Revel 9 and Craving Strange make things happen here in the island,
Okay.
right? And we're starting to get that stuff's coming up again, right? Like we're finally playing shows.
Right.
We're finally getting shit done. We're trying to
We had
trying
a good
to do this.
We had a good record. We had a good record to look at.
I booked shows, and I asked you guys, what do you want to do? If you want me to play last, I'll fucking play last. I don't care. But that shit worked. So if I'm going to put that on the show, well, that's great for me. Because that worked in the past and it continued to work, right?
Right. Okay.
Even before COVID, I did that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like the first 2 shows I closed.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Because I knew you didn't want to. So,
Yeah, I'd rather open than close.
right.
Actually, that's not true. That's not true.
Well, no.
I have a lot of songs.
You
so
have a lot of songs.
If I'm
you
in the
like to-
mood, I really like to close.
Right. But like,
Not because I
it's
think
one
I'm
of those-
important, just because I like to keep playing.
Yeah.
Leave
But
me wanting less.
Yeah. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, post COVID, we set up some shows, and I set up a show, and you set up a show, and it was just like, okay, like, what do you want to do? Like, you want to play first? You want me to play first? And I don't have. You don't have a problem playing first. I don't have a problem playing first. You don't have a problem playing last. I don't either. DJ,
same.
You know, like. So, what the fuck does it matter at a local show?
Well, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Like, and
All I'm
I
saying-
I get it.
All I'm saying is
extenuating
unless somebody tells you that that's the problem, you can't act as if that's the problem.
I agree. I do agree.
And I think that we think of shows in a different way than a lot of people do, because we think of them as, how do we make an entire night that's going to entertain the people that are coming, and that it's going to entertain every single person that walks in the door, not just my fans.
I agree.
And I think a lot of bands are in that mindset still of thinking of, how do I get myself to the next level? I need to be in front of more people. How do I get myself to the next level? We need to make sure that we're always climbing the ladder, which is not wrong. You're right. You're right to do that. You're right to push for that. I'm just saying that there's not that thinking like, how do we put together an evening that's going to really entertain people from beginning to end, keep everybody there, and be a fun night for everyone. That is not a common thing. I think that's where we differ. I think that's where we separate ourselves from the pack a little bit, for good or for bad. It could be for bad.
Well,
you know what I mean? It could be a bad thing.
Like I said, the reason why I brought it up is because I have been told by either second or first hand information, those bands, they don't want to open because they don't think they're deserving of it.
Gotcha.
Well, I don't know what band. At least two of them, were said that, were claiming that. If there were extenuating circumstances for two others.
Well,
all right, cool.
And for those bands that said that, I hope you're right.
I hope
you're not
right.
wrong.
I hope.
If you're wrong, you screwed up. I hope you're right.
I don't. And I'm again, like, and this is why we're mostly apparently I'm the negative Nancy here. But the positive
out of the two of us, you're definitely the negative
for
Nancy.
sure.
Yeah.
But like, I'm telling you, man, PTSD.
Right.
PTSD. I'm gonna lean on that. Okay.
Do it. Lean on it.
Cool.
Lean on it.
But yeah, man, like, it when it comes to that, I've heard it firsthand, and I've heard it as a second hand. Have I heard it third hand? No, I have not.
No.
But I've heard it first and second hand.
Third hand's weird.
Yeah, third hand I don't take
It's a third hand capo. Ever seen one?
Like this?
Third hand capo, for you guitar players out there, is a
Got the
capo
hinge.
that allows you to only capo individual strings.
Oh, it sounds awful.
It's kind of awesome.
It sounds
Because you can
very
capo
confusing.
it to make
And
a
I have to
chord.
figure out new strings. And new chords.
Well, you just make a chord. Like you could
Make a
capo
new
your guitar
chord.
to be an open E minor every time you strum, and then you can play melodies around it. Like, it's cool.
You
it's
know what?
weird, but it's cool.
When we're done here, he's gonna learn me some theory, and then that's gonna make the world of difference for me.
I figured out I can play country lead guitar the other day.
That's great.
I don't know how. It just weirdly happened.
It's really good.
Anyway, we're repeating ourselves now. We've taken up way too much of your time. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for being a part of Bacon is My Podcast. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you didn't enjoy this episode, hey, come back next week. We'll talk about something else.
Yeah.
It's always something different, so it doesn't really matter. So thank you. We appreciate you. Our patrons who are here live with us, guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Ziggy. Thank you, Def Chick. Thank you, Donna. You guys are awesome. We absolutely love you.
Cheers with a fresh drink.
You make the world go round.